Oh my goodness. Okay, so I hit the go live button. It says that we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining Lisa and I on the monthly Boozy Plan-o-Rama. For those of you who are new, who have never been here before, basically what works or how this works. Sorry, I haven't even been drinking yet. How this works is we get together and we basically try to hash out the coming month together. And because we're both authors, we can kind of complain about, the things that come with our lives, like, taking care of our families, marketing our books, writing our books, editing our, all that jazz. So it's and then naturally, the bottle kind of gets in there and then we start ranting about how we need to wash our hair. So.
Right. Which is what we were starting to talk about. Like, I was like, oh God, I haven't washed my hair all weekend. And then you're like, yeah. So it's the Dirty Hair Club today. Dirty martinis and dirty hair. That is our, yeah. So I have like a little trauma. Well, you can't see because I usually don't wear my hair like completely off my face, right? And the reason is because I recently got my hair cut and it's cute, but she was like way too short. I usually have like kind of a side swept bang or fringe, as we call it in the UK. And she cut it like really a lot shorter than I'm comfortable with. Now, that said, my hair does grow very fast and so it should be fine. But in order to like look like normal for me or semi-normal, I have to like basically like paste it to my forehead that,
nobody wants that.
No.
Nobody wants that.
And since my hair is dirty, right? I slept on it and it's kind of so I did like a little bobby pin up here so it's not I'll just take it off my face. So it's not too crazy.
Yeah, I've been growing my hair out again since I hacked it all off a couple of months ago. And for those of you who thought I was going through a crisis or something, no, what happened was the ends of my hair were so damaged because I had bleached it, colored it, done all this other stuff. And it was just like, it got to a point where I was like, it may look nice to you guys on your end of the screen, but like in reality, it was not looking good. So I just went in with, so. But yeah,
it'd be nice though to have like it was very cute for you have good bone structure, like you have those good cheekbones, so you can wear your hair short or long. You're lucky. You're lucky. I like this like chubby I do have high cheekbones, but you can't see them because they're under like 17 layers of
you have a heart
chubby
face. You
cheeks.
stop that.
I do have a heart face. So
all right. Let's say hello to some friends before we start trying to get our lives together.
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah. Mama Ward is here. Hello, Mama Ward. It's always so good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. Alice's busy bag. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. I love your shirt.
I know, right? Super cute. NaNoWriMo. Purple.
Oh, is that what it says?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was like, it either says something in English or it's Japanese. Like that's for us, like your avatar is like really tiny.
Right.
So
it's like this. It's like this big. So, all right. Yeah. Good. All right. Cool.
Since Booking is here, hello. I hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. Same thing for you, Cool Gamer. Thank you for hopping in here with us. And naturally, okay, so like the funny thing about your comment about bone structure, Lisa, is one of the first compliments that Mr. Brown gave me was that he liked my bone structure.
Well, he has excellent taste, Mr. Gray does. So there you go. I completely agree. You have lovely bone structure. So
thank you.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with getting our lives back together in some shape or form.
I feel like, yeah. So August has been very good for me, and I have been kind of productive, but I also feel like I've been sort of behind as far as like I've accomplished a lot of what I need to accomplish, but it's not been pretty, and I have felt like I've been worried a lot that I've been missing things. And normally I don't worry about that because I have my trusty to-do list and my planner and all that. And it was almost like, well, you guys know, like last month, I think I was supposed to host the Boozy Plan-o-Rama on my channel. And I completely forgot. I can't remember if I was napping or just hanging around. I did nothing. There was no reason.
There was just 5 messages from me going, Lisa.
And I was apparently having an electronics free day or something. But yes, so I apologize to all of you from last time. But yeah, so I did not plan my month, and I had, I've been writing every day or most days, not on the weekends, but I've been writing most weekdays, and I've had some other marketing stuff to do and just some other things. But I did not approach it from the way that I normally do, which is to plan everything at the beginning of the month and then execute. And I really missed it in August. Yeah. So I'm glad we're rolling again. I'm glad.
Yeah, I know for me, I've been going through like a transition with my planning sessions because before I used to just have like weekly objectives and then both my jobs blew up at the same time.
Right.
And so what I learned is I still like a weekly overview, but I have so many notes I have to take in the course of a day that I can't like realistically do it. So I guess that was like the first thing I wanted us to do for like a couple of minutes is talk about things that we'd like to do in September. So I'm just going to start writing while we talk.
Okay.
So make a list. Yeah, make a list. I've got a blank page in my planner where I was like, what am I going to do with this page? And then I was waiting for you to show up. And I was like, I'm going to do that with that page. Yeah, I'm just going to brain dump in here.
I think that's a great idea. This will help me.
I know that I would actually like to be down 5 more pounds. I've been trying. This has been like the year of me because I have year of the acorn and year of all this other stuff. But like at the start of the year, I was like, it's the year of me. I got to take care of me. And my doctor was very impressed that I had lost the weight that I had, but I was like, I still have a few more pounds to go. So
yeah, I still have my pandemic baby, meaning I still have like the comfort food tummy that I had before that I got during the pandemic. So yeah, that is something that's on my list this year. And I actually need to be cognizant of the fact that like I've been better. I cut out Coke, which was a huge thing for me. Coca-Cola, not like.
Oh, I was about to say like I can't believe you said that on my stream, but okay.
Yeah, Coca-Cola, people. Yeah, so I cut out Coca-Cola, which is huge, right? Because I like when I drink Coke, I'm either drinking 8,000 a day or none. And it's been several months now since I quit it. And so, which is good. My problem is like when I get migraines, taking my medication with Coke is like the only, and then a really like crazy hot shower has been over the years the only thing that sort of stopped that. So I do have some in my garage for emergencies, but I will not let myself drink it cold or with ice. I'm just like it's just for medicinal purposes. So I'm drinking it hot, which is there's nothing more disgusting than hot Coke that's been sitting in your garage in Florida. So it's heated to a nice 90 degrees.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right? But it still works for my migraines, but it does not tempt me to want to go back. And also, like, I will confess that McDonald's, I think they put extra sugar in their Coke or something because it's like that's sort of my kryptonite. So I have been really careful about like steering clear there. I'm like, I cannot have a Coke.
That might be the carbonation. Because unlike the cans, right? Because they can it and they send it out and stuff like that. They actually have to put the mixture and then add in their own carbonation. So they probably do it in their own way at McDonald's.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I read somewhere a million years ago that all sort of major restaurant chains have their own sort of like that Coke gives them their own sort of, it's Coke, but it's slightly, that's slightly tweaked to match their menu or whatever. I have always felt that Coke from McDonald's is sweeter than Coke from other places. And I am a sugar lover. So, but it could just be, the kind of ice they have. Who knows what it is, but that's my kryptonite. So I've been really trying to steer clear and it's been working. I haven't had Coke for like a long time.
Oh, good on you.
Several months. So that helped with the pandemic baby. The chubby baby. Anyway, so I just have to get the rest of that. And my treadmill desk is really helpful.
I need to be able to do that again too. So like part of what I'm trying to do to get rid of those remaining 5 pounds, it's always the 5 pounds are like the hardest to get rid of, right?
That's the worst.
Yeah. So I'm going to run or walk 10 steps. I can do that waking up. 10,000 step challenge, right? The 5 miles a day. So I'm going to walk or run that a day. I'm going to do intermittent fasting, and then I'm also going to stay on keto because this month was both my birthday and my anniversary. So naturally, like during those 2 weeks, it was like, we ain't dieting. Like, let's just go out to Longhorn. So
that's good. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah,
all right. I'm writing my list. So how many things are we writing? Like just everything you want to accomplish in the month or like your top 3 priorities? Or
it's your brain dump. So it's like the whole point of a brain dump page is that you just get a piece of paper out and you just write on there and then you make sense of it afterwards. So I just put down, I guess I was using my fitness one as an example for everybody that's watching right now. So that way they can kind of like percolate on that. That's my favorite word. I would like to write a book, maybe write 2 books. Write 1 book. That's the book a week challenge one. That's what I want to do. Because we're doing that again.
Book a week?
Yeah, I remember I did it last.
What?
Yeah, I did
book in a week?
Yeah, I did it in July, remember? They're doing it again in September. Tamara Wood, Sky Higgins. I think Mama Ward's taking part in it too.
Nice.
Yeah.
A book in a week. How many words are we talking here? Or like is it a novella, or is it are you cranking out 80,000 words in a week? What's happening?
Well, the last time I did it, I wrote 60,000 in 5 days.
That's true. Well, and you are right? So that seems right. So you can write like 1,000 words in a 20-minute sprint. So 60,000 in a week is probably not unrealistic for you.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's sewer magic that I want to do. So it might get named something else. And then I want to finish roll 20. D20. Because I love that book. I've got to publish it. What about you? What writing projects do you want to do?
So I only have one writing project I'm working on right now, which is the hockey romance book that I'm working on. Ideally, I'd love to finish it in September. I started it I don't know, a week and a half or so into August.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd like to finish it in September. It's a little shorter. I have it planned. Like my goal is 60,000 words, but to be honest, I always land right around 75, and I feel like I'm on pace to hit like just where the story is landing. I feel like I'm probably, so even though I'm like, oh, I'm going to write a shorter book this time, it's probably going to be like 75,000 because that's just how, like, pacing wise, that's just how it's working out. And I think good. Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. It was mostly like I wanted to experiment a little bit with a slightly shorter format. I think in the first book, because this is part of a series, I think while I'm sort of establishing, the world or and it's not fantasy or anything, it's like a real world. But while I'm sort of establishing the world of the characters, maybe this one's 75 and then the next one in the series is 60, because I don't have to establish the same kind of, things that I have to in this one.
Yeah. They either get longer or shorter depending on how much world building you have to do. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it's a contemporary romance, so it's not a ton, but it takes, it's about a hockey player, and as I write more books in the series, it'll be about other members of the team. And so, but then I feel like, well, I don't have to explain how everything works and how the people are as interconnected as much as I do in the first one. So
yeah.
All right. So I have that. I also have a conference that I'm doing this month.
In
September. Yeah. So Novelist Inc. is a conference for people who are super serious about writing fiction and making money from that. And they have one thing that is pretty cool about the conference is that you have a lot of, like, you've got like the rep from Barnes and Noble there, and they always have all these, like, there are because a lot of the people who attend the conference are really serious about their writing, and many of them are very successful. They have a lot of, kind of deals that you wouldn't get otherwise, and they have some, they tell you kind of what's happening next, for their companies, and it's really excellent speakers though. And also I have a number of friends who go, and so it's like nice to see people again.
So while you're there talking to the rep from Barnes and Noble, can you ask them about the debut author thing that we were talking about in your stream last week?
Yeah, I should actually, because they were there. And, Barnes and Noble, Amazon has like, the Kindle Daily deal and the Kindle Monthly deal. And it's harder to get picked for those deals without a distributor or some sort of a professional organization. Mm-hmm. And Barnes and Noble and Kobo and all those, they all have similar types of deals. But one thing that's really great about those deals is that it gets a lot of promotion on the homepage, and it sells a lot of books. And so one of the things that the Barnes & Noble rep told us last year was like, look, you don't have to have a distributor in order to take advantage of this. You can, just contact me or be part of this program at Barnes & Noble, and then you can have those advantages. And for me, I was just sort of starting to look at indie publishing last year. And so I have more pointed questions this year. Last year I was like, oh, this is pretty. But this year I got more specific stuff.
So you've got your hockey player romance, you've got the convention, and then what was the other thing you said you were working on?
Well, I have some book launch clients, and of course I have book coaching clients. So those are kind of the main things that I'm doing this month. The hockey romance and then the conference, obviously. So the hockey romance, which that's my top priority. I'm excited about the NINC conference because it's close by. I don't have to fly anywhere for it. It's like an hour and 20 minutes away, but it's right on the beach, which is nice. I always love that. So
I know you do. I'm going to answer one question that Misty asked me. So Roll D20 for Love is a nerdy, geeky romance about a couple that who play D&D together end up kind of hooking up. One is an industry artist for movie and film, and the other one is a comic shop owner. So there's a little bit of common ground that they have there. And it was my guilty pleasure book. I absolutely loved it. It's romance, semi rom-com. It was just a fun thing that I did for July.
I was so proud of myself for actually getting the reference of that title.
Oh, yay. I'm so happy.
I know, right? Feeling good. Feeling good. I think that sounds I think that sounds super cute though. It does sound very rom-com-y. So I'm excited about that. You know how I love a good rom-com.
I do know.
You may have heard that about me.
I think maybe I heard it somewhere. I'm not sure where.
In the past that I mentioned a rom-com.
Yes.
Good. Occasionally.
Maybe. So those are things you're going to do writing-wise. Are you going to do anything YouTube-wise?
Yeah. So, yes. So, one of my writing clients, actually, this is so funny. So, hold on. Let me see if I've got the book. I do. Okay. So my very first novel, my debut came out way back a million years ago in 2008. And when I was on tour for that book, I went to Book Expo, which was like the big bookseller convention. Sadly, it is no longer in existence. Hi. And I met another debut author there, and her name is Maggie Mar. And she wrote a book called The Hollywood Girls Club.
Okay.
She is, at the time, she's an attorney, but she's a Hollywood film agent, and she and I have sort of been in each other's orbits, but when we really liked each other, but it was like, how it is, like you meet people at a conference, you don't talk to them again. Right. So weirdly enough, last year when I helped Theodora with her book right before this conference, she had asked me if I knew Maggie Mar, and I'm like, oh my God, I love Maggie Mar. Well, it turns out that Maggie was wanting to write a book about how to get your book turned into a film. And she needed a book coach. So I helped her with the book. And here it is, Books to Film and TV, right? So it's a really good book. And so this week I'm going to do an interview with Maggie to talk about how to get your book made into a film and sort of how to position your book so that you can be found.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Which is kind of cool. I know, right? I'm super excited. So I am doing that, and I have some other ideas. I feel like compelled to, I feel like I want to help Robert. I feel like we should do like a telethon for Robert.
Oh, for his channel problem?
Yeah. Did you have, because you took a break too, although I don't think your break was quite as long as Robert's, and you came back to streaming.
Yeah, I kind of it was touch and go in 2021 just because of when I get really stressed out, like I do like a priority check, and things that don't make the priority check just get
tossed to the side. Yeah. Ditto. Yeah.
So YouTube didn't make the priority check for 2021. And I kind of came back and then I kind of left. But I'll tell you what, if you saw me on YouTube in 2021, I was 100% hot mess like the entire time. Like at one point I was like, I can't be around people. Like I'm not going to embarrass myself further. So I just subtracted myself. I don't know. So his issue, if I'm recalling right, and please correct me, is that he's been gone for a long time, so he got demonetized. And then what's the criteria for getting remonetized?
I think it's the same as when you do at the beginning, which feels like once you achieve that goal, right? You have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in the space of a year. And so his watch time is what, because obviously he didn't lose subscribers. So his watch time just from not posting has dipped down. Like his backlist of videos is not quite enough to keep him over that line. So he has to earn back those 4,000 hours of watch time. So he needs more. So everybody put on your calendar this week, go watch a story detective video or start it in the morning and just let it run all day. Who knows? But yeah. So yeah.
That's insane. Okay, good to know.
It's kind of rough though, because you know how hard it is to get to that first 1,000 subscribers. Like that's the hardest work of YouTube, right?
It kind of depends, right? Like there's a new guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I remember Michelle talked about him, but he just showed up on YouTube and very insightful person, like very insightful. But it was kind of like in the time I think it took him to get in the time it took me to hit 1,000 subscribers, he did it in like half the time. And it was just kind of, and I noticed that from a kind of like an analytical, like what is he doing? How is he doing it? What kind of content is he producing? Like it was really like me kind of using it more as like a case study.
Right.
And his big leverage, at least it's the same leverage that you have. And I'm always wanting you to kind of use, but it's the fact that he's a traditionally published author. So he's answering publishing questions, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of like, there needs to be more of that. And he's found that niche and he's marketing to it. So like, kudos to him.
Yeah. Right.
That.
So
when only you would do it.
I know. Well, I used to have publishing Q&A Thursdays and I stopped doing that, but I am going to bring that back because I always liked it. And I do get enough reader questions where I can, I have plenty of questions to answer. So, and I like doing that. And also a lot of times there are things where it's easy for me to answer the question, but it's not enough of a question for me to do like a whole video on it. So yeah, I really like that. I know. And I did those for quite a while, but I had the same thing. I had kind of a crazy year last year and I dropped off on I've done hardly any produced videos and which I'm going to ramp up for the end of the year. But yeah, so it's been one of those things, but that's okay. I know it has, it really has, but I feel like things have sort of calmed down. I have things that I want to get done and definitely producing YouTube videos again, at least one a week. It's good. Yeah, that's definitely on there.
Okay, so you're gonna do videos in September. So are they just interviews or?
No, not all. Maggie's is an interview. No, I have one that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is I got into this weird niche where I started helping all these like 6 and 7 figure authors write their nonfiction books. So, right, which is a really very narrow niche of coaching, but it's kind of awesome. And so one of the things from working with like Renee Rose and Theodora and Maggie and Sky Warren was that most of them have names that have the same letter in the beginning and the beginning, first name, last name, which is kind of funny. Renee Rose, Theodora Taylor, Maggie Mar, right? But there were lots of things that I noticed that they did that I don't see other authors doing. And so I'm going to do a video about that, like the sort of what I know, like 5 things that 6 and 7 figure authors are doing that the rest of us aren't.
I would love to know that because it's kind of like what are CEOs doing that everybody else isn't. And the one thing that they found most of them do is like wake up at like 4 a.m. in the morning and get work done before work actually starts.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was one of the so that's one of the videos that I'm going to do this month.
Nice. Okay. So I haven't figured out what my videos are going to be. I should probably do that after the stream.
But you're gonna still do some, like, so you're gonna.
I will do 4 videos.
All right. I will also. We'll do a video challenge. How about that?
What's the video challenge?
I will also do. I've had such a good time with the accountability thing with Michelle Schusterman with our page with our word count every day. That because it really got me rolling. She was kind of in the middle of her book, and of course she's now finished, and I was at the very beginning of mine, but it really like got me rolling. So if you say you're going to put up 4 videos this month, I am also going to put up 4 videos.
I will see your 4 videos, and we'll see what the cards deal afterwards.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna check back here.
Next, you say that, I'm writing it down. Check
I
back.
know, me too. For the Boozy Plan-o-Rama.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I know. I have kind of a big to-do list this month.
Yeah, I'm not done writing mine out yet. Okay, so then I got the blog post that I need to do. This is a lot. I haven't even thought about work yet.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness, no, I have not even. Okay, so shirts. Well, that's gonna be done tomorrow, so I'm not gonna put that down. Oh, you know what I want to do? I want to order that new Hobonichi planner that's coming out, which actually brings me to a question I thought anybody here who might have a planner might want to answer.
Ooh.
So the question was, do you like pre-printed planners, digital, or making your own layout in a bullet journal, and why? I forgot to add the and why, but it was. I thought that was because I always like to ask questions about how people do things.
Yeah.
And I've juggled, I think, between all 3 of these at this point. I've used pre-printed planners, I've used digital, and I'm using a bullet journal right now. And the big reason I think I wanted to lean towards a Hobonichi is kind of it's a time thing.
Yeah.
And I know like bullet journals can be used for like therapeutic and artistic expression, stuff like that. But it's kind of like similar to like Pokemon Go that I was telling you about earlier, where there's like so much time playing Pokemon Go. Like, what am I at the opportunity cost? What am I giving up in order to do this?
Right.
And so I was looking forward to that Hobonichi planner coming out because the layouts that it has is actually everything that I'm constantly replicating in my book anyway. So I was like, let me just see if I can grab it. So.
I love that. I still use my paper to-do list because I love the like, but I also have been using my Notion board for a lot of those types of tasks. So that I can visualize them and kind of keep them top of mind, even if it's not on my task list for the week. I like to know, like, what am I doing this month? What are all the things that I need to get done?
Yeah, and I think part of the reason I was thinking about maybe getting the Hobonichi is because I'm at a point where like I went to go see the doctor last week and they scheduled my appointment like a year from now, and I was kind of like, yeah, so I have it on a sticky note right here to remind myself that I have an appointment in a year.
I definitely use my digital calendar for that kind of stuff because otherwise I would totally forget. Like, I really need the reminder from the calendar. I check it every day. And the other thing is I don't like to. So this is interesting. I know that you have planners for all kinds of stuff. I tend to get lost if I have too many planners. So I have one that is just for publishing, and that's really the planner where I live. But also for things like doctor's appointments and school stuff and things like that, I definitely use like my calendar on my Mac because it will remind me on my phone, and I can set alarms, and it will nag the crap out of me, and I need that.
Yeah, I think so. Right now, I really only have 2. I'm using quotes, right? I'm using 2. I've got 2 planners. There's the everyday one that I use where I keep like my life together, and it's also where I put all my meeting notes in. So somebody's like, "What did we talk about last time?" I like go to that day. It's like we talked about these things, right? So, and then the other planner that I have is just for like the progress of my current books right now. And you could argue that I have another planner, but I would really call it more like a resource notebook because what I do is it's a commonplace book. And so what happens is if I read something or watch a documentary or something like that, the things I learned from there, I put it in the commonplace book to be referenced later. So that's what I use it for.
Yeah, I do have a notebook that I do. So I used to have, this is something I did a couple months ago when I finally like broke down and like really organized the crap out of my desk. One thing I noticed is that I had a ton of sticky notes because I would write something down and maybe it would get stuck in my planner or maybe it would just collect in a pile. But I started writing. I just have like a big notebook that I got. And I just write that. So if I have like a meeting with a launch client or a book coaching client, or if I have ideas for something that I want to do, like a YouTube video or things like that, if I need to actually write and put pen to paper, I will do it in that notebook. And it has been very helpful. I have way fewer sticky notes on my desk, and that feels like a win.
That does feel like a win. Got to reduce that visual clutter. So Mama Ward says, I make my own bullet journal and tracker because I haven't found one that works. I know in the case of Mama Ward, she's got a lot of other things that she's got to track. So there's not really like a universal tracker for that. So you do have to make your own sometimes. That's the benefit of a bullet journal, is that you can make your own. And I think if I really wasn't replicating a Hobonichi in my bullet journal.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Alice says, I enjoy all the planners, but I make my own now, which is.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be a 5-year goal for me, a Carrow brown planner. Let's see. And then looking at Hobonichi right now. You should, because that sale's starting on the 1st. Not that I am sponsored or encouraged or anything, but I'm just saying. The new one for 2023 is coming out on the 1st. I will be waking up early to buy this planner.
Carrow.
I got priorities.
Awesome. I know how you love your journals and your bullet, right?
I know stay organized.
I know it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I have a fresh month, fresh typewriter stickers for work.
Oh yeah, you got those cool stickers. I actually is it in here? Oh, man. I thought I had the spread in here, but I don't. I've got one more of these bullet journals before 2023, and in there I made a NaNoWriMo spread. I guess when we get together next month, we'll be moving into that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I had fun with that.
Preptober spread.
Preptober. Yeah, I have a spread for that, and I have one for the word count for November at the same time, because even though I don't use the website, I still track my words during NaNoWriMo. So
good for you.
Thank you. So what have I written that I'm working on? So going down the final 5 pounds. I'm going to work on 2 books next month. I'm going to write the one book a month, I'm going to write the book in the week challenge. Which I should probably finish outlining tomorrow.
Yes, that will. Otherwise, it's gonna be really hard to write a book in a week if you also have to plot the book in the week.
Yeah. So let's not do that. So I'm gonna write that book. I'm gonna finish my edits for Roll D20 and send that to the editor. So I'm gonna put that on there and send to editor.
That's such a cute title.
I fucking love that book. Like, there's always like a book that's just kind of like, I love it and I don't care if you do, right? Yeah. Like that's my book.
Yes.
That's
good.
Yeah. And then those are the blogs. There's a short story I wrote called The Glance That Lingered. I need to send that to an editor next month. The 4 videos, the 4 writing sprints I need to do. I'm going to attend Writer's Workshop next month. I don't know what the book is. Do you want to try and?
Yeah, I definitely do. Things have been sort of crazy for me for the last several months. My daughter was really sick, and so things have kind of calmed down a little bit. And so so I'm really hoping to get back into all the things that I love. So is that going to be is that when the 25th of September?
It is.
Or the 20.
She does it on Saturday, so that's going to be the 24th.
I can't do it next month because that's the weekend of NINC, or the week of NINC. That's like Wednesday through Sunday.
Well, there you go. Now you know that you can't go.
Yes, but I'll do the month after.
Yeah, you should. Well, not that you should. You do whatever you want to do. Don't listen to me.
I want to do. I miss doing it.
Yeah, we're doing. We were supposed to do it yesterday, but I guess like the entire panel couldn't make it. So we're doing that book, which is Writing Deep Scenes. We're gonna do that one this coming Saturday, which I should probably also put in my planner. So Saturday writers workshop. And I'm actually gonna write it in pencil because that's kind of where
this Saturday, the 3rd.
Yeah, the 3rd. We were supposed to do it yesterday, but we didn't. So, writers workshop.
I might be able to do that one. You guys know that it's Labor Day weekend, right?
Well, we're all stay-at-home authors, so holidays don't mean anything to us.
That's the truth. I literally just said the same thing to the Horror Geek today, actually. The days are meaningless.
Yeah. Let's see. Mom, word, I'm attending the Pro Writer Aid Free Writers Week starting tomorrow. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's right. They are doing that. You will have to let me know how that goes. Oh, you know what? That's something else I should put on here. Some kind of professional development thing that I haven't done. Oh my God. Some kind of professional development. What will it be? I don't know. I will figure it out.
All right. Where are my live stream stickers?
Professional dev. I will learn one song on the piano.
Look at you.
Well, like when I went to go visit my grandpa a couple weeks ago, like on the morning that I was about to, like, we were going to leave around lunchtime, and we woke up that morning and he was just like, he had decided that it was time for me to learn the piano. Just, almost 40, but there's never
too late. Right.
Yeah. So we did that for a couple hours. And then
that sounds kind of awesome to play piano with your grandpa.
It was good. It was a great memory. No complaints at all. But yeah, so he had like an extra that somebody had gifted him, and so he was just like, take it. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna tell you no. Like, that's
extra
weird.
Piano. I just have an extra piano lying around.
It's like an electric one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, he was very clear that it's like he was so funny because he's like, it's cheap, okay, like, just to be clear. I was like, we really are related.
Thanks, Grandpa. Yeah, no, I thought you were saying like, here's a baby grand, Carrow. Just strap this to the top of your car. You guys should be good on the way home.
No, it was an electric one.
That's good though. That's a good way to learn.
My husband had such a fun time because, like, I guess there's some things that like are actually genetic, and so he was just watching like how there was like quirks that my grandfather had that I also had, but we don't really interact with each other like in person very often, so it was just like he had a good chuckle.
Hilarious.
He teased me the entire way home.
That is really funny, actually.
Learn one song. What song would that be? I don't know. I guess I could look it up.
So I know how to play Heart and Soul on the piano. I only know how to play the melody.
I learned Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh, see? Okay, that's good.
Next stop, big orchestra performance. I'm ready.
All right. Go.
All right. There's Cat Dreamcatcher.
Did you say Cat Dreamcatcher?
Yeah, it's a cat-themed Dreamcatcher.
Okay.
It's a gift.
I just want to make sure I wasn't losing my mind there for a second.
No, you heard correctly. You have not drank too much tonight. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm okay. But I want to catch up. Hold on. Okay, now I'm good.
I think I want to look up how to do the couch to 5, or not the 5K, but I think it's 7K. Couch to 5 miles. Let's do that. Naturally, everybody's kind of like, I don't like it. Let's see. Oh, it says safely do it in 6 to 8 weeks. Well, that's fine. We'll start now. Whatever.
That seems fair.
Okay, so we got run, rest, run, rest, run, walk, rest. Okay, that's fine. I can do this. I'd say it's easy, but like you'll ask me like next month, like, how'd it go? It didn't happen. I thought about it really hard.
I have that.
Yeah, so all right, so run 5 miles by end of September.
That is an excellent goal.
And I should probably let anybody watching know that my baseline right now is already 2 miles, so it's not like I'm going like straight from the couch, never working out ever, to 5K or 5 miles. So ignore that man in the corner. He doesn't exist. Oh, and that's right. Okay. Oh, somebody has a birthday this month, and I don't know who it is.
Well,
excuse me. She's escaped.
Sticky side. All right. Oh, so we lost a dog. One of us should talk, I suppose.
Sorry about that. I have a barn door for my office door, and unfortunately, my dogs learned how to open it.
Well, that was bound to happen.
It was. Okay, so I think the big difference. Okay, because it's Monday tomorrow, so I'm actually going to start this tomorrow because waste not, want not, right? Exactly. Okay, so we're going to run 1 mile tomorrow. I can run 1 mile tomorrow. Absolutely. Run 1 mile. Here we go.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm. No, you don't get to. No, stay out. You don't get to open the door and leave and then ask to come back in. Kissy, what did I just say? She didn't listen to me. She didn't listen to me. You're so belligerent. No,
Is she playing the guitar now?
No, she's the kind of dog that when she's happy, sad, upset, anxious, tired, like she just whacks her tail on everything. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Sure. All right. So we're going to run on that day, and then we're going to run on this day. And this is the benefit of having a pre-made planner because I don't have to make spreads.
That is nice.
You have a because you use Notion and you have a pre.
Yeah, so I use an Erin Condren planner, which I really like. I used to have this planner that I made that was just for me for a long time. That worked great for me, but I felt like I'd sort of, like a lot of people, I feel like I sort of fell off the wagon productivity wise with my in the pandemic, and I just wasn't getting as much stuff done. But then I also felt like I had a lot more stuff kind of on my plate, and I needed to, like, and it's easy for your writing to be pushed off. And I felt like I needed to get serious about it. And you and I had a conversation, and you were like, if it's important to you, it needs its own planner. So I bought a really fabulous Erin Condren planner that I loved, and it worked really well. And to just have a publishing planner. And so now, which is kind of funny because I abandoned the other, like now I just have the publishing planner as far as paper planners. But it really helps keep me on track with all the tasks I need to do and how I organize my day. So
nice.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of leads us into, well, no, there's no leading. This is just an awkward transition. So I'm sorry. But we were kind of talking about what we would like to get done by the end of September. So maybe we can keep hashing out this stuff because I started working on the list. I don't think my list is done yet, but this question is for the comment section. There we go. Because you're listening to us verbally process right now. So what, all folks in the comment section, would you like to have done by the end of September?
That is a great question.
Oh, thanks. I can't take credit for it.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. I take credit for it. I made this question. All right. So we're going to run that day. Looks like I'm resting on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yes. All right. So.
Okay.
1.5 rest. Run. That's a Wednesday. Okay. Run for 40 to 45. Man, I hope I can do this.
You can totally do it. You can totally do it.
All right. Easy run. So now we move on to 2 miles. Gasp.
Woo-hoo. You hear me like I'm fighting with my microphone and my pen.
I hear it a little bit.
Yeah.
I like this. My book to-do list. Oh, I had to have your book to-do list finished. Sorry, sometimes it takes me a moment to like read and be like, what am I looking at?
So that's interesting that you say when you're talking about your book to-do list, are you talking about things like scheduling editing and things like that? Or are you talking about like book launch to-do list? Because I will tell you a little secret that I do for book launches, which is I have my book launch my book launch activities on a Notion Kanban board, and I go through the board with a book launch, and then I reset everything to go through it again, because obviously you are going to make some tweaks for a book, but a lot of the things that you do are exactly the same. And it takes all the stress out of like remembering what things you want to do.
So, and then I want to run for... Yeah, that is the nice thing about Notion is that you can make templates and just kind of bring them over.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah. Rest. Anything that you can automate it.
Yep, that's the truth. So if I'm going to record, I'm recording with Maggie on Thursday. My normal day for posting is Monday. Oh, technically though, Thursday is the 1st, so I'll be okay if I don't post my first video until Monday, which is the 5th. Oh, that's Labor Day. Is it going to be a bad day or a good day to post videos? What do you guys think? I mean, some people will be home watching stuff.
I think as long as you get the word out that it's there. I can't really speak about it because like the algorithm for YouTube is just constantly changing to the point where it's like I gave up trying to understand it. You know what I mean?
True. Mom Award. Hope to have my laptop back from the repair place. Drop another 8 to 10 pounds. Have my barn prep for winter. My fall release back from my editor. 2 things are half out of my hand. True, right?
And then Alice said, the final draft of my first book by the 24th, and then find an editor. Those are fine things to finish.
Very good.
Oh, she says that sounds ideal. Yeah. All right. Well, itchy foot. All right. So, what else do I want to get done?
I'm writing my 4 videos a month, or 4 videos a month for September in my September priorities. So get ready.
Oh, you heard it here. She's coming for me.
Honestly though, it's so helpful to have some to have something like somebody who's going to be like, I didn't see your video up there. And if anybody
so I have to pester you too. Okay. I should note that down.
I'll pester you if you want, but I know. Yeah. Right.
Accountable. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. 4 videos with Carrow.
Okay. I wrote hold accountable on my brain dump page for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Ditto for you. Although usually when you're like, yes, it's happening, it happens.
I tried to. I know last week I didn't make my video because it was initially... So the topic of last week's videos was writers, please stop writing. And when I was editing it, I was kind of like, this feels like I'm really talking to myself more than I'm talking to a viewer. And I'm really not about projecting like my self-talk therapy out on the internet. So I was just like, maybe not.
So sometimes that's how it goes, for sure.
I would like to draw again. So I think I'll try to do 1 picture a week. because I have fallen off the wagon on that. I'd rather, should say doodle. So doodle one picture.
Yeah, make it fun.
All right, so we'll do that. So, okay. So far, this list is getting bigger. I should do something for like self-care. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need a haircut, like just to tidy it up.
Just watch them if they do bangs. That's all I have to say. All right.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, do one picture a week. You should, Misty Kate. I encourage it.
Yes.
Haircut. But when will I do the haircut? That is a fine question. When do I have nothing going on so far? I'll try for the 6th. Maybe I can. No, because I gotta work all day. I'll try for the 4th. September. You gotta groom. Well, you don't need grooming, but you definitely need your nails filed, ma'am.
Oh my gosh, we just got Odin groomed last week and he looks like a new dog.
A new dog.
Yeah. A cleaner, less smelly, cuter version of himself. Like me after I get a haircut.
Oh, you're always glamorous. It's so hard on yourself. Oh my goodness.
I was just making a joke about the less smelly.
Oh, okay.
I generally try to not be smelly. I know. I'm like a chronic bath taker. I love baths.
Huh. You know, I haven't had a bath and
it's like a stress reliever thing for me. If I ever have a lot of like Mike can always tell if I've been stressed out because like I often will get up and take baths in the middle of the night and he'll be like the water bill the water bill went up, so you're having a rough month kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, for us it's just we haven't had a bathtub. I mean, we kind of have one in this house, but it's like a jacuzzi that's broken and we haven't fixed it yet. Maybe that's what. Here we go. Okay, fine. Get invoice for jacuzzi. There we go.
There you go.
Get invoice for jacuzzi. Because I would love to take a bath again.
It's so relaxing.
Okay, so I'm going to take that question down because we've already answered it. There we go. Okay, so in September, I want to be down the 5 pounds. I want to finish the 2 books, the short story to the editor, post 4 videos, host 4 writing sprints, attend writer's workshop, 4 blogs, do some kind of professional development. I'm going to look that up in a minute. 1 song on the piano, finish the Dreamcatcher, run 5 miles by the end of September, draw 4 pictures, 1 a week, get a haircut, file dog nails, get invoice for bathtub. Okay, so that seems like a pretty...
That seems like a pretty good one.
Yes, and none of that involves work, so I don't even know what's going to happen when work shows up. So I think I'm going to cut it off there because I work 2 jobs, as I always have to say.
A lot of a list.
Yeah. But I think this will work out. And don't forget, our next Boozy Plan-o-Rama is going to be on September 25th.
That is a good time. Okay, so September 25th, I will be out of town. I'll be coming back that night, but there's a big like bonfire beach thing at the end.
Okay, so then do you want to just wait until October and do it on the 3rd?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, or the 2nd. I think it's the 2nd.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm looking at a Monday start date.
And you know what? I feel like we might have talked about this last week, and here's why: because I have a sticker that says, as you can see, Boozy Plan-o-Rama for October 2nd. So, did we talk about it last week?
Maybe. I don't remember.
No, we couldn't have talked about it last month. Maybe I just made a note to like
mention it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so next Boozy Plan-o-Rama is going to be October 2nd. Okay.
Yes.
I have that written down. Brancher schmatcher. All right. So what else do we need to do? All right. So, and without even thinking about it, all the things that I wanted to get done for the month are actually part of the habits that I'm working on next month. So that's fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'll take it. All right. So. I want to reward myself, though. I need a reward if I can get all this stuff done. What am I going to okay, I'm going to think about this because I am, unfortunately, a material girl in a material world. So I will have to give myself something. Other than another boozy. That's a great question. Do you guys reward yourself if you get like your entire month done? Other than being like, I got it done. I know that's like the adult response. It's like, well, you got it done. That's its own reward. I'm like, you know what? No, not for me. I need
I do on a regular basis. Like if last week I had a ton of stuff that I had to get done and I've been kind of running on empty for quite a while. And so I just had like a massive to-do list and I finally like really put most of that stuff to bed. And I went out and I had like a really lovely pedicure last week. And a lot of times when I'm doing my pedicures, I will also like answer emails or do whatever. Like I'll still continue to kind of work while I'm doing the pedicure. But this week I did not do that. I just sat there with my little feet in the bowl and
had a good time.
Let the nice man massage my legs. Yes. It was very nice.
Okay. I think if I get everything done, I will actually commission somebody to do me art. That's what I will do.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Comes out Tuesday. Let's see. Oh, I think that's Mary and John.
I'm going to post that question just in case everybody missed it. Add that banner. I'm going to click that banner. There we go.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Switch to 210. Oh, jeez. That's going to be 3, 5, 8, 9. All right, let's see. So Sin says, when I finish the list, I go to the farmer's market, reward myself with a Danish. Oh, that sounds fantastic.
That's nice.
I want Danish. Come on.
That's really nice.
It is. 16. 18. 19. All right, there we go. Oh, you know what? I should probably have a social goal in here too, because I haven't been super social. I will write 1 letter a week. Which I normally do, but I didn't do it this month. So one of the things I like to do is I like to send my family members and friends like actual mail, like a letter.
That's so nice. People love that though. Yeah. Who doesn't love a letter in the mail?
I don't know. I don't know who doesn't love letters in the mail. It's so weird because you and I kind of grew up in an age before email, so we always remember how there was junk mail in the mailbox, and we get really excited about email, and now there's junk mail in the email, and we're kind of like, why is my email's empty or my mailbox is empty?
Yeah. I did have like Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, I have no idea where they could possibly, but they like sent like a handwritten letter. And my first thought was, how did you get my address, like my name and address? It was kind of weird. Yeah. They also sent one to the Horror Geek, but handwritten, all about, Jehovah's Witnessing. And I was kind of like, it kind of creeped me out, right? I'm sure it's just a direct mail thing, and they have, people who are involved with that particular religion sending out to people in the community, but it was it felt so personal. Right? It's like not like getting a, hi, I'm the Nigerian prince and I would like to transfer $10,000 US to your account. It didn't feel like that. Like, it felt like they wrote it by hand. It was really which I guess if you were looking for that kind of mail, that would probably feel really nice. But for me, it felt like almost like invasive, because it was a handwritten letter to me from someone I didn't know about a topic I wasn't interested in pursuing. It felt a little creepy.
But you remember it.
But I vividly remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah, that's a good marketing ploy there.
It really is. It really is. This is why people like, it matters, like when you write thank you note, handwritten thank you notes, because people don't really do that so much anymore.
Yeah, actually, oh man, that's something else I need to write on here. Sorry. Thank you notes for birthday cards.
All right.
You done scratching yourself, ma'am? Jingle, jingle.
I got a little left.
She's just like, don't judge me.
Okay.
All right, so I will do that. That sounds amazing. I think she's talking about. The Mama Word says, I also have to start sending Christmas cards to my cousin and 2 friends who all hate Christmas craziness on the 15th of every month until I'm annoying that way.
That's just fun.
That's called trolling your family. I think that's allowed.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Think about what the only way that we troll my family is we try to pick up the bill at dinner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about it, and we did that to my grandfather when we went to go visit him, but he's never had that done to him, so he had things to say about us picking up the bill, and I was like, Grandpa, he's a cheeky man, because then he put the money for the bill on my birthday card and told me to go have a nice dinner, and I was like,
oh, that's very sweet.
He's a good man.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet.
Yeah. Let's see.
I don't think I have you in my calendar, Carrow. What day is your birthday? I know it's this month because we just talked about it.
Oh, it was the 9th.
What?
Yep.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you. I was trying to slip under the radar, but like freaking Sky Higgins called me out.
Sky, man. You can always count on Sky.
Yes, you can. Don't mind him outside.
All right.
Yeah, hello, Kissy. Yes, I know he's outside. What do you want me to do about it?
I do have a fairly massive to-do list now that I've been sitting here like trying to figure out what I'm going to do this week, but also just writing down everything that I want to start doing tomorrow, and it feels like a lot.
I always have to chunk that stuff.
Yeah.
Like one of the things that I do when I'm working on my planning and getting my life together, right? Is normally the night before I go to bed, I look at the next day and I'm kind of like, what do I have to get done? What does that look like? And I felt like I was falling behind this last week. And part of the reason that happened was because I actually wasn't doing that.
Right.
Yeah. So I was a little peeved at myself for letting that happen like you do.
Well, that's it, right? You can go on sort of steam and your natural organization for a little while, but at some point it's all going to kind of start falling apart and things will fall through the cracks. And that was my problem with writing. I think it was last week, where this Hockey Romance is the first series that I've ever written. And so I'm learning things, like there are things where I go, oh, I need to go back and do this, or I need to like have a better idea for the whole series versus just the individual books, because I'm used to writing standalones. And so I had to like go back and plot. And I think planning is the same way, that you can just have this to-do list, but until you start kind of blocking off, like I have a to-do list that's right now sort of a brain dump of all the stuff that needs to get done. But then when I think about how I put that in my planner, I'm going to group those tasks together that I can knock out one after another. So I'm not like constantly code switching, which sucks up a lot of time. And also so that I'm sort of I'm using my best part of my brain in the morning, where I'm freshest for writing, and then doing things like meetings later on in the day, where I don't need to use all of my brain. Yeah. Right.
You need your down days.
Yeah. Or at least my like, I know, like unless I'm on a really tight deadline, I'm usually kind of spent as far as like 4:00 in the afternoon. Like sometimes I'll have like a long writing day, and I've had to for the last couple of weeks just because of other stuff that was going on. I was writing in the afternoons, and I don't write as well as I do. And I'm very excited because this week I have my whole morning every day blocked off for writing. I do not have competing things, which is lovely because that is definitely my preference.
Yeah, I actually, one of the things that I was doing to try and get my life back together is, of course, I like tucked it in here and then I have to pull it back out. But I started to try and do like the block scheduling thing like I used to do forever ago. So these tan places are actually all the live streams that I go to during the week, right? Not including the ones that I kind of lurk on for work. But I wanted to start spending at least 1 hour a day trying to get my writing done, because I haven't been giving it that time it needs. So we're going to try it this week and see how it goes. And if it doesn't go, then I'll have to figure something else out.
It's good to get that, to prioritize that. Later.
Let me see. So while we are all hashing out this next thing, I think I'll put up another question here. So this question, we don't have to answer this right away. I'd rather we think about it. If we haven't already kind of semi-answered it, sprinkled throughout conversations. But the question is, what did you struggle with in August that you want to resolve in September?
I can tell you, for me, it was just not enough hours. Like
you can't fix hours.
Huh?
You can't fix hours.
Well, I know, but that was my main struggle, was that I had too many other things that were like, that required my time and attention.
Okay.
And right. And so that I want to resolve in September is So there are two ways to do this, right? Obviously, I cannot make more time. So that would be one way of resolving it. But another way of resolving it, which is the way I originally perceived the question, which is that I did not have enough time to do what I needed to do last month, but I do have enough time for August. And so my resolution is to use part of my August time to get done some of those tasks that I had hoped to get done. Am I going backwards? September to get things done from August. I
thought you were a time lord for a moment.
I think I am a time lord. I just forgot for a minute which order the months go in. Well, but I have had a third of my drink now, so that could be it.
It's okay. It's all good, right?
Yeah. Didn't have enough time in August. Finally have more time in September. So I'm going to be able to get those things done that I was not able to get done.
Okay.
But I also have to make sure I don't load myself up with so much in September plus August that I have the same problem next month.
Yeah, no, very strong, can relate to there. Yeah, let me see. I think this block scheduling thing will actually help me because that's what I used to use to help me get things together. Actually, you know what I didn't put on here? I didn't put on my YouTube production stuff. That's what I didn't do.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, so I think what I struggled with in August that I need to resolve in September is having a better grasp of my time. Normally I do, but something happened in August where it just kept getting away from me all the time.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm hoping this will work. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to try something else because I can't be constantly being like, what's going on and how did I get here and what day is it,
Right. Correct.
So I think Wednesday records, so I will have to work during that time frame. I will script here. And then I usually record on Fridays. I will record in the morning unless I have a meeting. And then I edit on Sundays. That's lunchtime though, fuck that. Excuse my language. I'll tell you what though, I must have been really tired or something today because I actually took a nap and I normally don't take naps.
Yeah. I was this close to taking a nap, just falling asleep. And then the horror geek wanted to watch Sandman, so I was like, yes, I will do that because it was raining and it was kind of nice to hang out on the couch and
absolutely.
The dog. Yeah.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. Cancel. Oh, now I gotta go find that thing. I love it when I do something and then I lose it. I'm like, where did it go? I've lost it.
We have such good. So we have some really good comments.
Okay, I will look at them. Give me 1 second.
You got it.
All right, that's the Christmas card one. Mama Ward says, I hate that I'm going to have to give up my 5 a.m. writing club on Tuesdays and Sunday next month while my computer is gone. Oh, sorry, friend. And then the following comment from Sens is, overthinking in August, I keep thinking some of the projects I finished were still missing or something or needed more, but they were actually done. I do less this month, I can complete my list if I can do less this month.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right? This is the writer's dilemma, right? Because you can always keep tweaking it and messing with it and all of that. And at some point you just have to do exactly what you did, which is just say okay, it's finished. I'm sending it out.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think as soon as I get done with my draft, and I give it a proofread, I just send it to the editor because I'm like, I can't keep it here. It can't stay with me.
Right. Or you'll just keep working on it. So yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I know. And there's there's kind of a fine line between working on it, making it better, and and then just overdoing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I saw something about cheesecake. Rewarding myself with 3,000 words today with a cheesecake topped with pecan tartlet. Oh, that sounds so good.
That sounds so good and definitely not part of my fitness goal.
True.
Oh, I haven't started my entertainment. Sorry, I didn't mean to miss you there. Depends on what the letter says. Oh, if I'm sending the letter, right. I get you. So let's see. I'm trying to think. I'm grabbing this thing real quick because if I lose my train of thought, it's gonna be gone. So give me 1 second.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
No problem. I'm just gonna keep on talking.
Oh, it was so kind of wild. So my husband's gotten really into Pokemon Go, and the one thing I thought the game was kind of dead, right? Like I thought it was done.
Mm-hmm.
But as we've kind of gone around and done things together, we've realized that it's not. Like we'll go somewhere because there's like in the cell phone game you can like go to places and raid and fight a thing, right?
Right.
And we've noticed that the places that we go to like take part in the raids, there's like other people that are fighting it with us, and we're kind of like, wait, hold on, I thought we've been lied to all this time. So that was a weird revelation to find out. Okay. Like the one thing I have to get done today right now. Like I need to send this order. Okay, there we go. Now, the one thing I had to get done today is done. Woo!
Yay!
Oh man, so now I can think about other things that I need to get done this week. Let's see. Did I miss anything else? Mama Wart says, I feel like I have been very inconsistent productivity-wise, and also a weird resentment against the anti-goal / word count people complaining about high word count people having toxic productivity. That's such a weird argument. And I guess we can discuss that a little bit if you want, Lisa, because I do want to
do that.
Okay. Huh? Do you want to go first? I'll let you go first.
Well, yeah. Okay. So, okay. Some people do not write fast. Some people do write fast. And I think when people are sharing their word count goals or their what they did for the day, I don't necessarily think that it's to make in fact, not necessarily. I do not think it's to make people who do not work in that way feel crappy. I think it's a way to sort of hold yourself accountable, to talk about what kind of tweaks you've made to your writing process, and things like that. So it's interesting to me whenever writers get upset at other writers for their process. So I think with anything that you see, and I try to not pay attention to that kind of noise. But that said, Michelle Schusterman and I have spent like the last 2 weeks talking about like what our word count was, because we were like accountability partners. We were both trying to make sure that we were writing every day. She wanted to finish her book. I wanted to start my book. And it was really helpful to me and inspiring to me to see her word count every morning, because she was writing in the morning, I was writing in the day. And also, though, I wanted to share things like, hey, I had a pretty low word count day today because I realized that I needed to go back to the drawing board and plot a little bit. And I think that helps to know, like, nobody's writing 10,000 words a day every single day. Like, you're just not. And so, and there are a million ways to, to get over the finish line with a book. And some people are never going to write 3,000 words a day. And for some people, Carrow Brown, that's going to be like a slow writing day. You know what I mean? Like it just, so it seems there are a million ways to do this gig. And none of them are right or wrong. It's just right for you. And so I don't really get like the resentment. I feel like when I post that kind of stuff, I want to help people. And if it doesn't help you, then don't watch it.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I know for me, I usually don't openly share my word count with people because I don't really like the comments that I get.
Oh no!
I mean, like you tease me. Right?
I do.
And
I love you. I love you. And you're, but you inspire me too. Like, I'm like, okay, I got to get Carrow numbers today. Like, right? That's a good thing.
Right. But, there's a difference between teasing and people just being kind of like petty. And it does show, unfortunately. Or you think that you're being funny, but because of it's the internet and I don't know you very well and you're talking to me in a text base, like I'm not going to translate it the same way. But no, there's been like a couple of times where like I'll put in the word count and like people, like the comments that I get, it's just like it's downright rude. And I've had everything from kind of like you're faking it to like nobody writes that fast. Like, no, I mean, like and at one point I was like, I don't have to share my word count with you guys, so I'm just gonna stop. Right.
Yeah. Well, and I will say one of the things that, like, for me, what got me to a point where I was pretty productive, but also was writing really well in that the stuff that I was writing did not require a ton of editing and going back. So good quality work and strong word count was tracking my writing and my word count. So I would track how much did I write today? What time of day was it that I was writing? Where was I? Was I listening to music or was I listening to ocean sounds or was I, whatever. And that was how, tracking that data was how I learned that I'm most productive at the beach. And that's, that I can write about 1,000 words an hour. It feels like it just comes out like butter. And that made like a huge difference. Right. But it like tripled my word count. I used to think 1,000 words a day. Like that was very consistent with that for years. And it wasn't until I started tracking my word count that I was, and all I did was just move and write at the time of day and in the place that was most productive for me and did nothing else. And that was the thing that improved my word count. So I feel it's helpful when people start share. I don't know that I would have ever started dictation if it hadn't been for, for folks like Chris Fox and Michelle talking about how effective that had been for them. And so for me, this stuff is helpful. And I don't know. Do you feel like when people are posting that it's toxic productivity?
No, and I wanted to talk about toxic productivity because I think it's bullshit. Like here's the thing. Like we all have a process that works for us. And if you get the job done, you get the job done. Right. And typically the language and the discussions that I see involving toxic productivity are people that are kind of struggling to keep up. Right.
Right.
And if this was like a job, like forever ago, I worked in a call center for a bank. And they told us right off the bat that we have to average anywhere between 65 and 70 calls a day. Right. Like that was just the baseline. And if you got over that, then you had some really quick calls. And if you got under that, then you had some troubleshooting during the day. Right.
Right.
But that was the baseline. That was the expectation for you to have. And so a lot of the narrative that I hear and regarding like toxic productivity is like if somebody told you that this was the baseline, but somebody was struggling to like get to 50. So instead of asking what can I do in order to kind of like gear myself more towards what should be done, they're arguing about where the bar is and saying that the bar needs to be shifted.
Right.
And that's why I think it's bullshit. It's an accountability thing, at least from the conversations that I have. Now, I'm also not going to people and I'm not being like, you can do it and just work harder. Like I'm not being like the toxic cheerleader. Like that I think is bullshit. Where people like go over and like, I guess when I say like the toxic cheerleader, it's just the person that's constantly positive, like all the time. No. I know what you're thinking. Pause that thought. They're constantly cheerful and positive all the time, but they're not addressing the problem, right? So, for example, like when I was having a struggle and I was talking to you, you didn't just sit there and be like, "Oh no, it's fine, honey. You can do it. Just keep trying harder." You were kind of like, "You know what? Why don't we talk?" Right? Like you and I actually had a conversation, right?
Yes, several.
Yeah. Right. So, that's
and ditto, really, honestly, like when I was like, I'm not writing what I used to write. I'm not being productive. I'm not going to finish this book. Like I felt like I'm never going to finish this book that I wanted to write for a long time. And you're like, why are you being so hard on yourself? Like this is a pandemic. What is, why are you doing this? And it made me think like, okay, like how do I cut back? Like what? And at that point I did have my word count too high, because I was trying to operate in the way that I had always operated and it wasn't working. And that's, I guess, why I think that information is valuable to share. Right. I mean, for me, it's valuable to see like other people. Michelle is a great example. She and you are a great example, right? Both of you super productive, and yet both of you had burnouts. I had a burnout. I think a lot of people relate to that. And I think it's a disservice, especially to beginning writers, to not say, hey, this is part of it. Like you will feel like everybody else is doing all the things. And if you can't keep up, you feel like you're, oh, that's it. Your career is over. And that's not true. There are plenty of people doing great on 2 hours a day. Like you got to do what works for you. And there are a million ways to do it. You don't have to do it the same.
And one of the things I don't know if a lot of people actually realize, because you probably have because you're an extremely intelligent person, is people who are highly productive and get shit done, we all have the same log line, and it's like do a self-assessment, right? It's like, somebody else might be working really hard and you could be producing those numbers as well, but how you get there, it doesn't have to be the same, right? Like there's a Rachel Aaron, you met her. I geeked out over it. But she wrote 2 to 10. 2K
to 10K.
Yeah, it's over there. She wrote that book, right? And in there, she actually did the process of being like, when do I write better? Where do I write more? And she did the data analysis, and then she honed in on that, right?
That talk with her at that conference was the thing that she's like, you need a spreadsheet, girl. And that is that conversation. And I don't think, like it was a quick conversation, but that was the thing that sort of got me like, I really need to pay attention to, like I had sort of done it, but not in the same way. But that was it. Her thing is all about doing more of what is working for you and less of what is not, which is just another version of the 80-20 rule. And I think that's it. And the other thing I think with the toxic productivity is this idea that you really do feel like you have to do a million things. But a lot of the stuff that we're told to do, social media being one of them, takes up a ton of time. But the return on your investment time-wise might not be paying off for you. And I think one thing about keeping track of those things, where you're spending your time, where you're spending your energy, where you're spending your money, that's part of running a business. And if you're an author and you want to eat, you're a business. So you got to pay attention to those things. Where are you losing money that it's not paying off? Where are you spending money that you could be, ramping up, and time and energy and all the other stuff?
Yeah. So in short, toxic productivity is
Thank you for
bullshit.
My TED Talk.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk. We think toxic productivity is bullshit.
Yeah. But productivity is not bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. And it's like the counter arguments to it are they're very lame. I'm sorry. Like it's people that don't like, it's either they don't know how to cope with the pressure, or they don't have a good coping method. There's the jealousy, obviously. And so instead of seeing it as like a challenge, like in positioning, like if they're doing really well, we could do really well. We just need to tackle it from a different angle kind of thing. They just decide to like give up. And I'm kind of like, why are you doing that? Like if you want this hard enough, you're going to do the work for it. Like it's just that simple.
Yeah. Well, that's, so this is like that book I think I told you, but I've told all of you guys about a million times, Make Time, which is that we do have enough time to do the things that are important. We just have to choose those things first. And I keep going back to so one of my clients is an author named Skye Warren, who is a prolific romance writer, and she's making over $1 million a year. And she found out a couple of years ago that she got really sick and she has a chronic illness. And this, I'm not sharing anything that's not, that she doesn't share publicly regularly. But she didn't have enough energy to continue working 8 or 10 or 12 hours a day anymore. And she was like, but I am supporting my family. And so how do I keep my same level of income and only work 2 hours a day, which is how much energy I have? And she cut out all the stuff that wasn't working, all the stuff that was not directly making her money. She just cut out. And that's the thing about productivity, is we can be like on our little hamster wheel, but maybe it's not doing us anything. It's not doing any good for our careers. And if we focus on the stuff that does matter, word count being one of those things, because you got to write words in order to write books, different career.
Yeah, there was a going back to Rachel Aaron, because she and her husband actually did like some really amazing I love how transparent they are with like this journey that she went through from being traditionally published to indie published. Like it was just like, for me. And at one point when she went full indie, like left and did her own thing, they were trying to figure out, kind of like what you're talking about, like what to cut to make money. And one of the things that we always used to get told, at least at that point in time, is that we had to have a blog, right?
Right.
I have a blog because I like to have evergreen content, and I can also use it in videos, right? So it's like, it's dual purpose for me.
Right.
She had a blog and she hated the blog, right? Like she hated writing for the blog. She hated the time it took away from writing everything else. So she was very overjoyed after her and her husband hired this marketing research firm to come take a look and see what was working, what wasn't, to find out that nobody was reading the blog.
Nobody's reading the blog. Well, they for a long time, they said like, you have to have a blog. You got to have social media. You got to have this. You got to have that. And nobody's reading. What a relief that is. And yet some people love the blogging. Some people love it. Yeah. And that's the thing.
And it depends on like your niche market and like what they're into and where you can find them. Like you and I probably know off the top of our heads where our market is, right? Yeah. My market's mostly going to be on Instagram, and then it's going to be on YouTube, which is why that's kind of where I put my attention at. I do the content for the blog because, again, I'm also using it for YouTube as well after a time. So,
well, I'm all for recycling content and content marketing is really, really an effective way to to build your brand and your audience. So but also it does not suck. It doesn't feel like it's sucking out your soul to do a blog. And that's the thing, right? So yeah, I know everyone's like, oh, Facebook. It feels like a slow, agonizing death.
I haven't been on Facebook since.
Yeah. It's funny though. I'm on there now more because of all these writer groups that I'm in, So that is the one place where I am, but I'm almost, and I have stuff. I think it was Sako who told me about the little bots that will repost your content. Like if I post a video, it posts on Twitter automatically and it posts on Facebook. And I go, okay, that's it. I don't have to worry about it. And I never engaged there. So I probably have like 3 people that like
have tried to talk to you, like me.
Yeah, I know. We could tell that story again. So that's it. All right. So I love this. Oh, so okay. So hi, Coffee Create Connect. What is it? Thank you. That was exactly the question. What are you going through right now? And also, we're very glad you're here.
So we can keep ranting about it.
Yeah. Yes.
It started with toxic productivity and word count, and that led us to kind of like how to market.
Right. Well, there is something to that though. But I feel like I have to kind of periodically go through and sort of clean out my activity list and just make sure that I'm doing the stuff that is making me money and is is furthering my career as an author. So writing books and marketing activities, but I'm not doing a lot of stuff that I used to do anymore because it does, like Sky Warren was such an eye opener. I'm like, this woman's making $1 million a year working 2 hours a day.
I want to do that.
Right? I know. Yeah. She is so smart. I mean, we could go on and on about her. She's really smart.
What is the book that you worked with her on out?
Not yet, but it's coming out soon.
Okay. I was like, that sounds like something I should read.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be talking about it when it comes out. Yeah.
I know that one book that you did with T. Taylor, I thought was absolutely fantastic. We're going completely off the productivity thing right now. I'm sorry. But I really loved everything that she shared with us, right down to like the daily routine. Like I wake up at 5 a.m., pull my daily tarot card, write until my children wake up, feed them, put them on the bus, go back. Right.
Isn't that helpful though, when you're looking at like, and this is the thing that really struck me, because these three, I mean, there've been more, but those three ladies in particular, Theodora, Maggie, Sky, and Renee Rose. So they in particular, they all know each other, and their routines have some interesting differences and interesting similarities. But I was really struck as I worked with each of them, because at any given time I was working with like two of them at a time. Like I worked with Theodora first, but then I also started working with Renee, I think, as I finished with Theodora, and then I was working with Maggie and Sky, Maggie and Theodora, or Maggie and Renee, and like so I was constantly just spending an hour a week with them, and really noticed the things that they were doing that were different than what I was doing. So yeah, so I'm excited to do that video.
I can't wait. Because I remember you were telling me, like, you kind of dropped a little bit of a tidbit for it, and I was like, I'm so interested. Like, I just want, like, I really like the T. Taylor book. I'm pretty confident I'm going to like all these other books too.
Yeah, Maggie's book is fantastic, and she's so qualified. Like, she has sold a ton of properties. She is phenomenal. She's an author herself, so she totally gets it. She's a great speaker, and she's just like a genuinely nice person. So I was really happy to like reconnect with her and help with that book. It was pretty fun too. Yeah. And that's the other thing, is I feel like, I get all this, like I get all the goods first. So. And when I'm working with them, I'm always like, well, what about this? Because I'm always asking the question, because I think if I want to know, probably a lot of the readers want to know too. So we'll want to make sure that we address those kinds of things. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome, it's a weird niche to have as a book coach, but I totally dig it.
It's great. So Coffee Create and Connect said, being in a situation where I'm working 9 to 5 isn't feasible, and I need to focus my time and energy on what makes me money and stop wasting precious energy on the wrong stuff. So simple, but yes. Yeah, because I think it's like, I'm not sure where we get the notion about how to do things, but we pick it up and we think that that's the universal truth, right? Like, Jane Austen. And we have to learn the hard way that it's probably not how it should be. So
right. Yeah. That's totally true. Yeah. Well, and the other thing too is this idea, I think it's interesting. There's been all this talk in the news lately about something called quiet quitting, where you're basically like just doing the bare minimum at your job because you're giving your juice to your side gig, or you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to live for this job. I'm going to do the bare minimum of what my job requires, and I'm not doing anymore. And I want to take that movement, because I think it's kind of cool, because I think you're going to have a lot of like, it's lower risk for entrepreneurs and authors. But I love the idea of sort of giving your energy to your own projects first, and then your client projects, or then your business projects.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I wanted to type quiet quitting to my husband so he and I could talk about it later. Yeah, because we work in completely different fields, but I was kind of like, I know exactly what you mean by quiet quitting. In the military, we called it being short, because when you were about to transition out of the military and you already had a job lined up for you, you basically stopped working in the military. Yeah. Right. And so like, and it was such a common thing in the military that when somebody was like, I sent them an email, they didn't respond to me. It's like, they're short, they're gone next week. And they're like, oh, okay. And like the expectation was just not follow through.
They're just not going to work. They're not going to work. So that, right. And the thing is about quiet quitting, which sounds like, Obviously, employers are not enthusiastic about this movement. And there was something that happened in China last year, and I cannot remember what the Chinese word was for it, but it was basically the lay down movement, where you had, because the culture is so different in China, they have this expectation that you work from like 9 to 9, and including kids. And so, kids are like, they're in school all day, but then they're tutored at night. They're taking all these advanced classes or music or art or whatever. And they burn out. These kids burn out by the time they get to college. And so there's this whole new generation. I'm laughing because it's kind of awesome, also kind of sad that these kids are burned out by the time they hit 20. That they just are like burned out. They're like, I'm not going for the big job. I'm getting off the treadmill. I'm going to just hang out at my mom's house and play video games, which is kind of an interesting phenomenon. But it also makes total sense. If you work people from the time they're born, 12 hours a day.
I'm trying to remember. It was such a common term when I was in Japan. I gotta look it up. It's basically, it's kind of what you're talking about, but it was just like the anti, like, we're done. Movement in Japan. Not working. Hikikomori. So hikikomori. That's not the word I'm thinking about. It was actually an abbreviation. But hikikomori are people who basically also gave up on working, and then they just become shut-ins in their house. And yeah, so that was actually on the rise when I was leaving. At first, like, the general response to it was, it's kind of like, well, they're going through something, right? But when I was talking to one of my friends who's still in Japan, it was like, oh no, it's growing. It's like a thing. And some of them just live in internet cafes now. And I was like, oh no, that's not good.
It's funny because it's not funny. It's sad and challenging, and a challenge that that some of these countries that have had a preference for male children, even though they've changed that now, or it's not as prevalent, that you have a lot of young people who have no hopes of finding a mate because there are so many more boys than girls. And I think that, like, treadmill mentality combined with you're not, like, you've been working yourself to death, and also you may never find a partner in life, or at least not in the way that you anticipated, is probably super discouraging. Evaporated people, that's a really interesting word.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so about once a year, don't judge me too hard, I have the why am I working so hard conversation with my husband. And it's usually kind of like, why am I working so hard to try and do something, and I'm not getting there? And his response is, you're getting there, you just don't see it, right? Like, that's usually what he tells me. But in the situation that you're talking about, like, these people really aren't getting anywhere, right? I think that was why we had the whole movement last year where people were just like, I quit my job, right? Like, COVID gave us the wonderful opportunity for us to reflect on where we were, where we wanted to be, why we were where we were right now, and how do we change. And lots of people were just not happy at work, right? Yeah. They didn't like being gears in the machine. They didn't like, we all had an idea of where we wanted to be. And I always upset people when I say this, so don't throw things at me. But we did kind of delusion ourselves with Mr. Roger a little bit, because Mr. Roger on his TV show would always tell us that we were something special, we were meant for great things. And so we grew up thinking that, and then next thing you know, we're told to flip burgers at Burger King, right? Like, it was a very big disillusional moment. And that's not saying that we aren't meant for great things or to go and do amazing things. Yeah. But we have to do, like, that self-realization. In therapy, at least when I was doing the clinical therapy program, I was told right off the bat, sometimes we would look right at a client and just know immediately what we needed to tell them. But because it comes from us and not from them, it doesn't have like that same impact. So a lot
right.
Yeah,
you always remember things that you figure out yourself better, right? Or you believe them more, even if someone has dropped breadcrumbs all along the way.
Yeah, or like wrote it on your face, kind of like had like subtle cue cards, like you know, stuff like that. And so a lot of people like are, and a lot of people actually, I had this conversation with somebody who's a genetic scientist because we were talking about the common issues that we're seeing in our very different fields, which is the critical thinking that's happening with like the people that are coming out of college right now is like at an all-time low. Like they're not understanding the why of what they need to do or any of the pedagogy.
They haven't been taught that. They've been taught to detest. I know.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's the kids that have those critical thinking skills. So probably kids have thank you. Critical kids who have like done things like debate or are in naturally argumentative families or are kids who have had the experiences where they have the opportunities to think critically. Those kids are going to have a huge advantage because we have done this massive disservice to all this entire generation of students by making them learn how to pass a test and nothing else. So, or pass many tests actually.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Yeah. And that's the theory behind why we did that in the clinical program, because it's, I could give you the medicine or you could decide to take it, right? It's the whole lead the horse to water thing. So, but yeah, like the critical thinking, like, and I really feel like we're looking at like a group of people that have really been like just handicapped in so many different ways, like cognitively, socially, economically. And my friend and I, when we were talking about like, again, like the common problems that we're having, we're like, we are in for a massive shitstorm because recovering from this is not going to be like we'll just do this, right? We have to start sooner. We have to go back to the education. We have to go back to the implementing critical thinking, because you can teach critical thinking, but to get into the habit of that is very different. Like, so here's a funny reference. A couple of years ago, Jeffree Star teams up with Shane Dawson. Sorry, I always forget his name. Two problematic people made a product. They did amazing marketing with it. It sold out immediately, right? Like we all know that part. What I thought was really interesting is that the warehouse that all the makeup was in got broken into, right? Somebody broke in and grabbed the makeup, and somebody who has the ability to actually think like ahead of time would have gone on to Facebook like these guys did and marketed that they already had the pallets before they were released, right? Like there was no thinking there. So they go out and they do it, and so immediately like the police go and arrest them, and now they're in jail and stuff like that. And I was like, your teachers have failed you.
Yes.
You should at least wait until
you should be better. You should be better criminals. That's what we need. We need to teach to have better criminals. Yeah.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
I do totally. Like, yes, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, goodness. All right. We should bring this back. We're at like 9:48. We should bring this back to planning for our.
Thank you for listening to our TED Talk about the shortcomings of society. We do this once a month.
And about education. Yeah, I know. I know. That's like a real, anyway. That's a thing
I'm
for
focusing. I am readjusting myself. So I did figure out what I was going to do, or at least try to do for the month of September. I was going to do the writing. I was going to do the video production, along with hosting streams for writing, which you also do on what time on Wednesdays?
11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time over on my channel.
So I'm going to do the professional development. I'm going to do the music practice, the craft. I will get a haircut. I will file your nails, ma'am. Talking to my dog. I'm sorry. I'm going to file the dog nails. No, I'm not. That would be crazy if I drove.
You could drive to my house, or I could drive to yours. That's a long way to go for a manicure.
No.
And there is a very nice lady that does it down the street.
We'll think really hard about it. And we'll circle back to that.
We could go for a manicure together. We could drive halfway.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That would be, we should vlog that.
I know you like a nice mani-pedi. So, Yeah. I did like really knock out my to-do list as far as all the stuff that I really need to focus on this week. And I did start scheduling it out in my calendar for this week. And I think that my biggest challenge is going to be adding the videos back in. Because it's been a while since I've done a video a week, and yet it is one of my priorities. So I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. I think my challenge will be fitting the writing time back in. That's going to be my, even though it's simple, but I'm kind of so Lisa's worked with me, so she knows when I'm like, when I start getting into like the work zone. But what happens is if I wake up and I know that there's stuff at work I have to do, like all I can think about is doing the stuff at work.
It's hard when your brain is oriented in that way to prioritize your writing first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is like there are some days when I have planned to write first. On the few days last month when I actually did have time to write in the morning, which again, as I said, is my preference and when I'm most productive. But what would happen is I would still be like, oh, I got to do this. I'm just going to send this quick email. And then before you know it, it's 11 o'clock and you've spent the best part of your writing day on doing stuff that does not require that much brain power.
Yeah.
There's no email I have to send out that requires that much brain power.
Yeah, I have to respect the story and prioritize it instead of being like, I'll just go to work instead. No, I gotta do the thing.
Yeah, so, I totally agree.
I got one more of these, and then I'm getting my Hobonichi.
Oh, there you go.
Me and my planner list. Don't mind me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Y'all had wonderful things to say.
I know, right?
Yeah, so there's a danger of putting things on a pedestal, referring to the Mr. Rogers comment. We talked about that one. Let's see. Teaching critical thinking to a teen is much harder than to a child, and raising them with that ability. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely true.
Something my dad always did. Let's see. Consequence management is no longer taught either, so we have to plan for our consequences and the result of our creative writing and non-writing goals. Boom, full circle.
Boom.
Boom, baby. All right. Well, that is going to bring us actually to the last 9 minutes. We could probably end a couple of minutes early, and the world will end. Yes.
It'll be all right. It feels like a natural place to stop.
Yes. So on that note, would you like to do your outro, ma'am?
Yes, I'd love to. Hi, I'm Lisa Daly. Thanks for planning with us for the last 2 hours. Over on my channel, we talk about how to write a book you're super proud of and get it published. And I am a hybrid author, so I'm both traditionally published and now indie published. And I'm working on a hockey romance right now. That's probably more than everybody needs to know. Anyway, thanks so much for being here, you guys.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We do this once a month. Next time it will be on your channel, which is also linked in the video description if you guys have not gone there. And then that will be on the 2nd of October.
Yes.
At 8 p.m. EST.
Yes.
So plan it now. Be ready. Yes. I don't know why I just put my hair down. I still need to wash it. But hello, my name is Carrow Brown. I am an urban fantasy author. I also write romance under the name of Faye Black. I came here to try and get my life together. It might actually be together. We'll see how next week goes. On my channel, we talk about writing, and usually me being angry about something like, tomorrow I'm going to rant about Mary Sue's and why you guys need to stop putting Mary Sue's in your writing, but I do it nicely. Or occasionally I'll host my writing sprints on Friday where we will have some kind of topic. This topic actually, interestingly enough, is going to be how to balance work life with writing, because that one got tied last week. So I'm just going to go and do it this week. So
good.
Yes.
That's a good topic.
And then that's really it for me. I'm kind of a hermit on the internet, but occasionally Lisa manages to pull me out of my cave and have engaging conversations. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes.
My ridiculously short bangs are trying to escape their bobby pin jail. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll go ahead and end it so that way they can be set free. So anyway, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us today. I hope you guys got some good planning done, and we will talk to you guys either on Wednesday, Friday, or next month. So
yeah.
All right. Well, bye, friends.
Bye. Thanks for being here, you guys.
I'm hitting the right button.